It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Monday, May 1st edition.
Man, already into May.
What a day.
Yeah.
What a day.
Are you going to tell about your date now? I know a podcast listener or two that have been waiting for your recap on how your weekend went.
I had a grand weekend.
Yeah?
I golfed. I went on a date. We didn't golf. I was too tired.
So you did golf individually, but not on the
I
day.
golfed on my own with my friends on Sunday, but I didn't go to the driving range / golfing with her. We just went out for lunch or whatever.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was all right.
Oh.
It wasn't, I'm not saying it was bad.
Are we
but
gonna
she
have
was just like,
Are we going to have a second date?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll mark it down as like a hard maybe. I could see us going on a second date. I thought that it went decent. She was just really smart.
Did you feel out of your league or
When
something?
I asked her what her job was, it was the most confusing thing I've ever heard in my life. She was like, I'm actually like published and I'm like she majored in like neuroscience. She essentially like does like coding for like scientific stuff. I didn't get it, clearly.
Well, maybe though she wants a partner who has nothing to do with that world. So that, and I'm not saying like dumber than her, but just
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So then that way she completely leaves her work at her work.
Yeah.
And then she can come home and just be on a normal level.
More like fun. That's what
Yeah.
More fun level. But yeah, overall it went good. She was a good talker. It was a good date. It was fun. But I don't know if we'll go on a second date. We'll put it down as a hard maybe for now.
Well, technically it's also her decision as
She
well.
was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was cute.
Where
She
does
was cute.
Where do you think she stands on the second date
I
situation?
don't know. Probably like in a similar spot to me where I thought it went well. It went solid. But it wasn't like blow me out of the water.
Well, you got to decide soon because nothing was worse than when you go out on a date on a Saturday. And I mean, it's Monday, so like you would normally connect.
Trying to plan something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, or just, like, did you say thank you for going out?
Of course I said like I had a good time
Okay.
and stuff.
All right.
I did text her after the date and said like that was nice.
But now did you Monday text her? Like that's an important, because
Well,
this
it's
is
really
your first.
early.
That's
This is
I
too
don't want to
early.
wake her up.
Yeah.
It's not, but like this is the first, weekday.
Yeah, that's true.
After
That is
it,
true.
So you just have to be aware.
You schedule send it.
Yeah. It's scheduled for 11:30.
Because I'll
How's
tell
your
you,
morning?
women like communication, so I'm sure you guys do too.
Yeah,
You want
so
to
for
help
now,
him
hard
craft
maybe.
like a real good 2 days after the
Well, it
date
depends though.
text?
If he doesn't want to go out with her again, that.
Or just
that's
slow
Doesn't
playing it.
sound like that though.
I'm slow playing it
okay.
to see.
We just maybe.
I'm not gonna like be like today, like, oh my gosh, we should hang out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm just slow playing it and
It's
see
a-
if maybe
it's a
plans
tough
fall
one.
into our
that worked
lap.
the first way to get the first date.
It
so.
did. So just slow
You
play
could
it.
always text back, say, "Hey, thanks again for a great lunch. I hope you have a great week."
Because then I don't
like
have to text
that.
her for multiple days after that.
You're
is
good.
what
It
you're
covers
saying.
a few
Yes.
days.
Hope you
yeah.
have a great week.
Yeah.
And then I can just not
But
text
yeah,
for like
that
2
does
days.
make it sound like you still want to circle back around.
It does. Dang, Nikki, that was pretty
Wow,
good.
that was
Put the
good.
little
I was a little
fishing
surprised.
thing. It's a wiggle wiggle and pull
That was
the bag
pretty
out.
But that was
be
my
happy to write
weekend,
all
yeah. Golfed, did that. Nothing too crazy. Played Mario Kart on Saturday night with my friends. That was pretty fun.
always good
We just
time.
relaxed. But today, actually, you guys, weekends?
No,
Nothing of that caliber.
I have a garage sale still this week, so I've been cleaning out. And I kept reading the article that became popular about it. It's called Swedish death cleaning. Have you heard that term?
I've heard of that, yeah.
And so I kept thinking, like, I'm not quite Swedish death cleaning, but pretty close.
Dang.
What's the best item going to be?
For
The garage sale. Like, is there something that you're, like, giving away that you're like, I actually would love to keep this, but, like, I'm giving it away?
No, I mean, it is a lot of crap, but it's good quality crap, and it'll be rightly priced. But no, it's just a lot of random things.
No, like appliances or anything?
Nothing
Or-
good?
Some furniture.
Furniture, huh?
Couple of little pieces of furniture.
You don't have an end table by chance.
I do. I have like a round one.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice. It's got like a granite top to it.
Ooh.
Would you like it?
I'll give you $3.
I don't think No, I'm asking for my parents.
Yeah,
They
I'll send you a
just
picture.
remember they moved a while back. This is real. This is a real conference. This is not
is
for the
not
Haggle,
joking.
Hudson.
Yeah.
Haggle, Hudson. Haggle.
No, they can totally just have it.
Oh.
Oh, no. They can just have it. They don't have to pay for it.
Well,
No.
I'll pay $5
I'll
for
also
it.
let you know my mom happens to be in the market for a bird. Do you have a bird?
A bird like a
bird?
real bird?
Yeah, she wants a pet bird.
Your
Oh,
mom's
no,
getting
I
Oh, my
don't.
gosh. She's getting a bird.
She wants a pet bird. My dad is trying to not
Why don't you give her one for Mother's Day? Like one of those.
Oh,
They're
my
expensive.
gosh.
You know how much birds are?
Oh, they're
I
not.
can't imagine.
They
Some,
are.
Does she want one of the talking ones, or does she just want one of the little birds?
She mentioned parakeet.
Parakeet. Those are not expensive.
Aren't those like
not.
the loud ones? I feel like birds are like I walked into a house that had birds before, and they're like screaming.
Those are the talking ones. Yeah, you should totally get her a little bird.
Parakeet.
Well, that's
What do you even do with a bird?
They're
what-
something.
what they
It,
like.
sits on your shoulder.
It does more than most pets, actually.
They just fly around the house, and you keep it inside the house or in like a cage.
Well, you have to
can
watch-
keep it in a cage, but yeah, you
On
can,
TikTok, it's a little parakeet, I think, and they do the voiceover. Like everybody has the voiceovers for their dogs, but this one's for their bird, and they make him pretty foul. Like he just,
nice.
and he's hilarious.
Foul, I get it.
He's really funny, and so I'm just like, to me now, every time I hear a bird, I hear this bird's voice.
Are you pro bird or nay?
I would personally never want a pet bird. But are you asking, am I pro
I'm talking
my
about for
mom
your
getting
mom.
Oh, for your mom?
I don't see a big issue with it.
I like it. You're like, it's not my house. I don't
If she
care.
wants to take
you can
care
have a
of
bird
it.
if she
Uh-huh,
wants.
They
she
can
wants to
just-
take care of it, yeah.
They can be very dirty, like very hard to, like you have, like here, I let my dog out and they just go outside. This, you have to actually take care and clean up
Yeah.
after
But
your
that's a
pet.
good thing for like, a
If
mom.
your mom's
like your mom
bored.
would
And,
do.
yeah, and but the difficulty is, right, if you have a parakeet, you can keep it in the cage all the time, or you can let it fly free, which obviously is more fun. But
Like
then you-
outside?
No.
I was
And
about
you're,
to
like
say.
just
House.
roam around the house, but then you have to put a diaper on it. They call it
Yeah.
a flight suit, but it's really a bird diaper.
That way it doesn't just poop all
because
over
it can
the
just
house.
poop anywhere.
No,
Yeah.
the
But
bird
that's
on
also
TikTok,
crazy.
the bird on TikTok just poops everywhere.
They just
No
let
way.
it
They
poop
just clean
everywhere.
up after it.
That's crazy.
And it's making them millions. So
Sounds like
That's
my life
working
every
out
day. Oddly enough, my dog's supposed to go poop outside.
one last thing on the birds that you got the talking bird you're talking about on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And people do that for their dogs, and they always make the dog sound stupid, right?
no, it's cute.
But don't they though? There's no
It's a
smart
dumb
dogs.
voice.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think I should start a channel where I give the dog like a posh British accent and make it sound very intelligent.
See, I've seen that before. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
See
they've
it?
done
It's
that.
already
Yes,
taken?
it's a big thing with basset hounds actually.
No, it's not.
I swear it is. I swear
Because
it
it
is.
goes so like counter character to what they actually
so
are
they
like.
they act like they're like kind of like that's like supposed to be like the King of Britain type deal. But I've actually if you went to my TikTok, I've only posted one video and it's exactly that of Jim.
So you stole my idea.
I posted this over a year ago, maybe
You're
2
just
years
behind.
ago. It sounds like you may have seen my profile and not realized it, and then made it into your mind as your own idea.
Yeah, nothing like a year-old For You page
Yeah,
one that
post.
comes up.
I guess if you posted it a year ago and it never took off, it's not that good of an idea anyways.
It was a
don't-
decent video. I got some decent views on it.
Don't shut it down, but do
It would
think
work.
about a great gift idea for your mom. If she wanted it, would be a bird. That means she's missing you.
Yeah, but what if it makes my dad mad?
That's what Mother's Day is all about.
That's what women do.
yeah. That's what they do. And on that note, enjoy the podcast. We
Lots
won't
of
even
good
tell
stuff
you
in here.
anything. We do have a food fight. We try the Reese's creamy versus crunchy peanut butter cups. So if you're watching this video podcast, hop over to the video before. That way you can watch that too.
And we'll catch you next time.
See you
Okay,
guys.
bye.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
Got a TikTok here that's taken off. The style, one of the TikTok trends is making like a Wes Anderson style
Oh, sure.
of just a day in the life type TikTok. And I have a woman who trying to film a day in the life TikTok. She got quite a day that she happened to film. It was the day that she got fired / laid off from her job at Amazon.
Oh, I saw that one.
And so she's filming everything the entire day, and so she happened to catch on film the moment where she is reading the email because they didn't do it in person. Or
Oh,
anything.
she didn't have a meeting.
She was working from home, which is why she could even do this.
Yeah.
But she was fired from her job. She was a recruiting manager at Amazon, but no longer. And I feel like maybe
She needs someone to recruit her now.
I guess she does to make TikToks.
I know.
Because that's what she's good at.
Well, her TikTok was fun, but then obviously very sad that she got fired. But like that was the content for it. She got something.
Maybe that was maybe if she focused a little more on her job and a little less on making TikToks.
Probably not. I think with a lot of the Amazon firings right now, you can't help it if you are.
Yeah.
But she, at least got it within the day. So she's got a lot of traction on that.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll get her another job.
I guess the irony is that she was supposed to recruit for Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And what could be less of a recruitment for Amazon than them firing you on video?
Hey, she doesn't need to do that anymore because she is
free.
done.
Free from the shackles of Amazon. And now she can make all the TikToks she wants. And her options, the world is her oyster. Her options are endless.
Shows you should really be doing some sort of TikTok vlog every day. It doesn't matter if you're not getting fired or hired or anything like that, but you never know what could happen.
You think you should film everything at all times?
Just in case something good, so then you can become viral.
Something good or something bad.
Well, which is still good in the viral
it still
sense.
goes viral for sure. This is how you do it. You think, how many things do you think have happened in your life that you're like, man, if that was filmed?
That it would be?
Viral. Yeah,
not too much.
Not many?
I don't think we've had. I mean, maybe.
I just think, I'll tell you this for sure, is that any moment that would go viral in my life, I wasn't filming because I'm never filming.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Well,
I think,
get on it. Change.
I know, but I don't have the space on my phone.
Okay. Well, then you're not ever going to have her success.
I'm not really committed. I'm trying to go viral the old-fashioned way by saying crazy things.
Okay, I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah.
Don't drag me into that.
All right.
So it was a WFH, a work from home.
Yes. Again, why she was, which explains why she was even able to film all of this in the first place. If I tried doing this, well, here I might get away with it. But if I tried doing it at an actual job, I wouldn't be able to film it because I'd be too busy having to actually work.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
This one takes place in Connecticut, where it's something that I didn't think could happen. I didn't think this was possible, but a plane was forced to return to the airport in Hartford, Bradley International Airport.
Yeah.
It was forced to return after taking off because the co-pilot's windshield, one of his windshield windows, blew out.
From the front of the plane?
One of the front of the windshield of the plane spontaneously dislodged mid-flight.
They needed that tape from last week.
That's right. I don't know why they just didn't tape it beforehand.
They needed to tape the windows.
And so, but the way they remedied it was even worse. So obviously they had to return to the ground. But check out the pictures, Nikki. They filled in the missing window, at least temporarily. Just like if you were driving an old beat-up 93 Toyota Corolla and somebody busted out the back window.
What would you do?
You'd put a cardboard box in it and tape it, and that's they've got a FedEx box covering.
I wonder why they had the box.
I don't know, maybe they're making some deliveries.
It just seemed odd.
That's what they had on hand. But I mean, you think about it though. And you if you ever stick your hand out of a moving car window, the way it gets blown and whatever, or if you've ever even stuck your head out, it's quite a rush. But
imagine trying to do that
it's
on a
blowing
plane.
your hair and your face all over the place, and you're thinking a plane's going how many hundreds of miles per hour? And so, and you got no windshield to block all that wind coming at you?
You're putting a big box in front of it, let's say that. The passengers said it was an awful experience. They landed safely, though, and they had to re-accommodate all the customers to another aircraft.
That is one. How do you train for that? Because that has to be so disruptive. Mm-hmm. It's the cockpit. How could anybody focus on getting the plane even back down to the ground if they've got hundreds of miles an hour wind blowing at them?
They are going to be investigating to see about the window, but it didn't stop there. They said the actual awful experience was the customer service when the plane landed. Mm-hmm. They had to wait in line over 3 hours to get reaccommodated.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't a very good experience.
Well, what a shocker on that one.
I know.
I would have expected United Airlines to be able to just actually make everybody's experience just really manageable.
Oh, I would have been like, listen, the box is in the window. Let's go to where we were going.
Yeah, that's right. Get back on that plane.
No, they can't fly that way.
No, once I looked out the airport window and saw a FedEx box in the window of the plane I was on.
Yeah.
I think I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm just glad to be here on the ground.
Not on the plane.
I might be taking a bus.
Then you haven't waited 3 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
You would take the box in the window.
In the 3 hours time, I could have gotten to Washington Dulles Airport where I was supposed to be going anyways.
Could have drove there.
Yeah, that's right.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
It's no shock that people will pay, particularly men, will pay women to do wild and weird things online. You know, like that's just but as many of those weird things, the weird requests I've seen made, anytime one that's new to me comes across, I feel like we have to talk about it.
Well, when you read
I
this,
don't feel like we have to talk about it. I feel like we don't.
That's also a good point, too, and very respected point. It makes the feet pics seem like, well, that's not as weird as we could get.
You know,
so
feet
weird,
pics aren't so bad after all, huh?
Feet pics are pretty tame, actually. This is still like there's nothing. It's not like pornographic or anything, but
It's just weird.
Isn't it weird that this woman here, she's a former stripper turned influencer. She's now 29 years old. Apparently, she's a millionaire. And how has she become a millionaire? By just basically selling anything about her, including bags of her burps.
Oh, it was that lady?
Yeah. What, have you seen this?
It's on my For You page.
What kind of For You page you got over there, Nikki?
It's a free for all.
I have to search
You
for
never
this
know.
stuff.
You just never
I have
know.
to search. You're just getting it naturally. This lady, she says she gets guys will pay her, among other things, for Ziploc bags that she burps into.
Oh.
And the
How
bigger,
much are we talking, though?
$100.
$100?
$100
Per bag? Per burp?
per bag.
And then she says if
Do they pay for shipping, or
No, there's no way, right?
I mean,
the
shipping would
person
be
has to pay for shipping?
yeah.
shipping would probably be pretty low on a bag of air, don't you think?
I think it'd be weird. You want to package that up before you go to the post office?
Do you need
or-
to like put the bubble wrap around it?
The bubble
Or do you
wrap
burp into
over
each
it?
of those little ones too, or to inflate those?
Do you insure the box? I don't know.
Yeah. What is the value? I mean, I know
Low.
they
It's
paid-
real low.
It is low to most people, but to some weird dude online, he's paying $100. But that's not all that she sells, though. It sounds like she's just saying yes to everything that any guy asks her for, because she'll also like do her toenail clippings.
Oh, that might be worse than burping.
What are they doing?
Yeah, I think
Sucking
it
on
is.
those?
Oh, there it is.
What are they doing with those?
Hang on.
Be honest here.
Hang on. It's Monday. Let's travel carefully.
Bathroom trash she'll send. The
gosh.
peels off of her foot. You ever like peel the skin off of
Oh,
the
the
back
dead
here?
skin?
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, understandable.
Well, you would send that with a toenail.
Yeah, exactly. It's a package deal. It's
Listen,
a combo deal. It's the
I'm
foot
not
combo.
judging it until I get actual numbers. So how much would the foot peel of skin get you?
Oh, so you mean there's a price you would pay for foot peels?
If you're telling me like it's $500 or something per foot peel and you need to get a pedicure anyways, so I don't know.
Oh, I'd sell my shavings for sure.
I know, right?
No doubt. If somebody wants them, you can reach out via 8772 Radio U.
You can
just
text
let me
us.
know.
You're the first one that's ever solicited.
That's fine.
that I will sell my foot peels. Everybody else, it's like it's some weird guy asking a lady, and she's like, "Well, I guess if you're willing to pay." And then Isaiah's like,
I'd endorse it.
"Yeah, right."
I'd advertise it.
Our next fundraiser
Yeah.
is 100% fully funded. She said that the bigger and longer the burps are, the more money you can make. So there's this whole world of this.
Yeah, how do you figure out that you want that as a guy? Like, what do you go through in life where you eventually decide, I am so into burps that I'm going to ask ladies online for them, and I will pay good money.
I just think they're at their bottom, and that is the lowest.
Yeah, I think if you request this, you need to take a long look at yourself in the mirror. You need to reevaluate your life,
the
some
list
of
to
your
me
decisions.
gets worse. You can ask for dandruff, hairbrushes, old socks, vacuum dust,
Well, at least there's socks you can
toothbrushes,
suck on that yet again.
floss, and more. So
The Q-tips.
the Q-tips.
That's a bad one.
That is weird.
Yeah, man, there's some just strange people out there. Again, if you want to pay for somebody's used floss, there's not technically anything wrong with that, but you definitely need to do something. You need to find another outlet.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
I was thinking, Isaiah, you ever get back onto Tinder yet with the video verification thing?
No.
So he got banned from Tinder.
Banned, yep.
You guys
And
ever?
not for anything bad, but just they thought someone else that was another Isaiah convinced them more than the actual Isaiah.
That they were real and I was fake.
Yeah, so
do
they
you
kicked
think
you off.
That's what happened? Do you think somebody else is pretending to be you and they made such a convincing case? Or do you just think somebody saw you on there and they were just like, there's just no way that's Isaiah.
They're just in such awe.
So they had to report you.
I don't know what happened, but I got banned for being fake.
Yeah. For
So
faking
whether
being
somebody
yourself.
else has my profile or someone reported that I was a fake person. one of
You
the
don't
two.
know.
But I was real, oddly enough.
So the question was, have you guys been banned from anywhere else, in person or online?
Oh, in person?
yeah.
Or like you can't come back?
Permanently, temporarily? I'll stretch the question.
You ever
just
been
so-
sent home?
Yeah,
well,
kicked out.
Does school count? I mean, I didn't even get sent home. I don't think so.
No, not off the top
What
of
do
your
you
head.
take us for?
That's what I'm thinking. It's pretty hard to get kicked out of somewhere.
I don't think it's
You have
that
to be making
hard.
a scene in a Target to get kicked out. I've never even been approached by a worker telling me to calm down. Like, there's never even been a close call. I've never had like a confrontation point with any worker or employee at any form of business where I felt like even remotely I was going to get kicked out.
There wasn't even a possibility.
There wasn't even a chance. I've never had a bad experience with any kind of employee or another person in the store.
And I don't like to draw attention to myself, so I'm not going to have a fit over something and get kicked out.
All right, fine. I've got an even better question. This seems more like you guys. You guys ever got any places that you refuse to go because you're too embarrassed to go back?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
What would you like to share?
For a while, I wouldn't go back to Panda Express because I paid with a $20 bill that someone gave me.
Yeah.
It was like a really, really old one.
Uh-huh.
And the manager or whoever was working the window was screaming at me because he thought it was counterfeit. I was like, I'm crying. I'm crying as I get my orange chicken. I was like, this is not counterfeit. And it was just a really, really old bill. And I was like, I'm never coming back. So I wouldn't come back.
So you still won't go there?
No, I have since changed. He's been very rarely.
You
I'll always
go
remember.
or you send somebody else to go?
Yeah, because I'm too afraid.
Yeah, that's a wild thing for them to get all up in arms
You
about.
can tell he was mad at something else, and I was just the last
straw.
right there.
What
You
about
could have just told him, why don't you just hand it back to me and I'll just pay in credit card.
Then he didn't want to because he thought it was, I had to pay it with credit card. But like he just had a fit thinking I was passing real old timey, money and stuff.
Yeah, what a scheme.
I actually went to the bank afterwards. I was like, this guy yelled at me. Is this real? And
Can
they're
you go
like,
call Panda Express?
Yeah.
Will you tell him I
Can
wasn't
you send
lying?
them a note, please?
Tell them this is real.
It was real, so they gave me new 20s.
There you go.
So I wouldn't have any more problems with it.
What about you, Isaiah? You ever get that embarrassed?
I've never been embarrassed so much to where I wouldn't return to somewhere that I can think of. I've not returned for bad service. That's a different thing.
That's way different.
But I've never really
Even though
embarrassed-
that's kind of what happened to Nikki.
Yeah, it is. So I've never really embarrassed myself in public like Nikki has. So probably not.
I just don't like being screamed at.
No.
Well, if anybody has any, have you been banned from a place and why?
Or have you banned yourself?
Or have you banned yourself and you won't go back and why?
8772 Radio U.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Have you ever been banned from somewhere? Where have you been banned from? Why were you banned? Or have you ever banned yourself?
And you won't go back again.
Sometimes I think that's appropriate as well. So text in with your story at 8772 Radio U.
I know you have something, but Josh was saying at college he would always walk around barefoot, and the university library seemed to be the only problem that had only place that had a problem with that. So Josh didn't say though, did you get kicked out, Josh, or would they not let you come back in?
They probably had a sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service. At the library, they don't usually need that. People just tend to wear shoes, I think, at the library. For whatever
Josh
reason.
is a rebel.
Yeah. Why were you walking around barefoot at college?
Just a saying.
That's a wild thing.
You were a barefoot guy.
Yeah.
For everyone else that went to your college. Fred Flintstone?
Can we cut and start over so that actually would be funny?
That's okay. You can do it.
Fred Flintstone. I have a text here from Theo who says he was banned from Walmart for figuring out and getting on their, the store announcement thing.
Oh.
You know what he said? Guess what he said? I think you could guess it.
What?
Sunday.
that?
Monster Jam. Really?
Well, I feel like if you're going to get kicked out or banned from a place,
Yeah.
the chances of it being a Walmart or a movie theater are pretty
Walmart loves
strong.
kicking people out. I had somebody I used to work with. Her name was Stacy, and she was banned from Walmart because her twin sister was banned from Walmart for stealing.
Oh, so they thought it
They
was
wouldn't
her?
let either one back in.
That's not fair.
Because they couldn't tell them apart. I also have a guy here who texted in that he was banned from a casino where if you were parking at the casino and like they're parking, like they did a trunk check before you actually were able to park.
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the back seat with his family. And you know how the middle of the back seat folds down?
Oh, so you can go in the trunk?
So he got in there. And when they opened the trunk, he
was
jumped
in
out
there?
of the... Yeah.
Why are they doing a trunk check at the casino?
That's what I'm wondering, too.
Maybe this is like a 9/11 thing or something.
Oh, you're
Can't be too
hiding-
careful type thing.
Are you hiding chips in there? Or what are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, it's a big it's the casinos, big parking structure. You got to be careful, right? Then people could put stuff in there. Who knows what they could put in there?
A trunk check. I've never heard of that.
How about this one from Devin, who texted in? He says he got banned from a go-kart track. This is a great story. So he was at the go-kart track with a big group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough go-karts for every single person, right? In the group. So he got pushed to like the second group with a bunch of girls. And he's like,
Oh, no.
He's the only guy with a bunch of girls. He goes, I'm not going to lose to a bunch of girls. And so he started, he was getting behind. You ever heard of the pit maneuver, Nikki?
Oh, what's that?
You know what the pit is, Isaiah?
I'm familiar with the pit.
The pit is where you are coming up behind somebody. You kind of push them. You push them with your car.
Yeah.
And it makes them spin out.
Like their back rear tire.
Yeah, the back rear.
You kinda, like,
kinda
clip them.
Someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's considered obviously very dangerous.
But a heck of a
especially-
move, though.
Yeah.
But
to
for
pull on a bunch,
go-karts-
Extremely effective.
to pull on a bunch of girls, though, actually kind of embarrassing. You even needed to resort to that. Sorry, Devin, but he wound up spitting out like every girl, but then the girl at the front of the race spun out and hit everybody else. It was like the biggest wreck in the history of the go-kart course.
Oh, so you got banned?
He got his picture taken and everything.
Oh, you know it's real if they take your picture.
They take your picture, you're done for.
You're not coming back
No
in.
more go-kart fun for. They probably sent that around to all the go-kart tracks in town.
How many are there?
I don't know.
There's usually like 0.2 per town.
It's he's probably banned from like every go-kart track ever for pulling something like that. Don't you
I mean, I
think?
guess there is 6 of them, so he's banned from all 7.
You better watch out. Well, I'm glad I've never been banned from anywhere.
You're good?
Yeah.
Not that you're willing to share anyway.
I'm clear. I'm less trouble than either of you guys.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I don't know if you've seen this guy going around TikTok. His name is Kong. He is a car enthusiast. He kind of likes to teach little car hacks.
Oh, sure.
But one of his car hacks that people are actually really appreciating is, to many people, no hack at all. It's just a normal thing. But he's got a video that's going around where he teaches people how to defrost their windshields.
It's harder than you think. Have you ever thought that?
No.
Have you ever had
No, it is.
You've had a morning where like you can't get the right combination.
Yeah, it's like confusing.
Yeah.
You're like, if it's supposed to be hot or cold.
I don't want to use the confusing word. I just want to it's frustrating because you feel like you're doing everything right, but your windshield will not defrost. And so you're just running the windshield.
Are you talking about...
Then you're wiping the inside.
Yeah,
you don't know
you're
if it's
doing
the inside or the outside.
You
You're
know
doing
what?
it.
He says you're not supposed to do that because then you're going to make streaks everywhere.
Well, then
If you
you
use
Well,
your
when I'm
hands.
trying to figure it out,
while driving.
I'm like, why isn't it working? And then you
Why
start
are you
wiping it.
driving while you have the windshield all fogged
'Cause
up?
Hudson, I'm driving with a sheet of ice over the front of my car if I'm in the wintertime.
Everybody's running late and you don't have time and you always think that it'll clear by the time you get out of your neighborhood.
If there's a peephole the size of a quarter, I'm driving.
That's it. So what does he say can fix it?
What do you mean? You just turn on the defrost. He just shows you the button. It's just a button and it's a
doesn't
knob.
always work.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 2023. You have like a brand new vehicle. They've spent... Defrosting technology has come as far as it will ever come.
I'm just telling you, I don't think I'm the only one.
I agree with Nikki. It doesn't always work.
Every so often, it just does not work out.
I've never heard of anybody having issues with this before.
What are you talking about? I know I've had this conversation many a times
That's
about how it's just weird. It doesn't work.
That's why he's making the video.
Yeah.
Because we're all having
It just means your
issues.
car isn't heated up
Just
enough
click on the
yet.
comments on TikTok and it'll be many people
I
saying,
see
oh
'em.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
I
I totally agree.
Some guy here, he says, how have I been driving for 30 years and just learned this today?
So they're saying that people don't even know they have a defrost button.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not
I
just
see.
that like, oh, it doesn't always do it right away like I want it to. It's, I didn't even know that was an option that you could do in a car.
I see. Sometimes when you, like, if you go get a car or a lease or something, it's not like they necessarily run through the entire car with you. So you maybe just never knew.
Everybody's got buttons in their car they don't know, you know?
That's what I was going to ask. You guys, can you think of any?
Any buttons that I don't
buttons
know?
you
I
don't
don't
know
think
about?
that there's any that I don't know at this point, but I know that there's buttons that people don't know.
I know if I got in somebody else's car,
That would be
there'd
foreign.
be buttons. Yeah, but in my
Yeah.
car, I know that my car, like the back of I could drive with my eyes shut, to be quite frank with you.
You mean with the windows fogged?
I could drive it with the windshield all iced up.
So they say that never use your hand to wipe fog off a windshield. It transfers oils from your skin to the glass, which will create streaks and makes it worse.
Yeah, you ever notice if you're driving at night? Actually, you know what the worst is when you're driving when like the sun is setting and you're driving towards the sun. You got it's like, sun shining bright, beautiful day, but you got a streaky windshield, and that'll make it impossible for you to see.
It's hard.
Yeah,
So they say do the cooling mode, your front windshield defogger, they say, and an air circulation mode.
Do you think it'd be helpful
That's the one,
to actually
button.
describe the button
I've seen
of
that
what
one.
it looks like?
The swishy button?
It's got like 3 squiggly lines
Yep.
in like a square, like the shape of your windshield.
That's that one.
And there's one that in most cars it should be you turn the knob to that and then turn on the heat and that'll de-ice your windshield. And then there's also a button you can press that looks similar that'll do your back windshield.
But if you don't know that, Hudson thinks little of you now, and he'll be welcome to show you if you need a in-person tutorial.
There's so many buttons in those new cars now. I can't tell which one's which. When I get my roommates, he's got like a brand new car, and there's a million buttons in there that my car's pretty new, but I've never seen before.
And we never ask for help, so it's
No.
not like,
Yeah.
the first time you're like, well, I really need to look up this button.
I mean, who knows all the car hacks that we are missing out on that we could just learn from watching this guy.
Yeah, he seems great.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
I've seen a lot of layoffs going around all over the place right now, right?
Well, a lot of bigger companies have been mentioning, I think Amazon being the most prominent, which I don't understand since they seem to make so much money.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because they're laying off so many
Yeah,
people.
that's right.
I don't know.
They're making so much, but they're not making enough.
Sure.
See, is the problem. So lots of people maybe looking out there trying to get back into the workforce, trying to find a different way, a new job. And I've got something here that could be the key to you getting your next job. And it's super simple. All you need to do is get on ChatGPT and start messing with it.
Oh, really?
Just start fooling around with ChatGPT.
Okay.
It's available to everybody, right? It's free. I've used it. You just, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
So they want to hire someone who's in the know on all the stuff. So Isaiah, you're out. You haven't used it yet.
Haven't used it, yeah.
Yeah. 91%.
Well, no, just go in and lie about it.
That's what everybody has in their resume anyway, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Just
got
another
experience.
lie.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
If you start
While you're
by
writing
actually,
it all instead of cheating with it.
but
I'll figure it out.
It's something that you don't even have to lie about because you just quickly go on there. You just quickly set up an account, and then you don't have to. I mean, you just ask it anything, and that counts.
Yeah.
But like, it's like different though, because some people are like know how to like manipulate it. Where it's like actually giving you stuff of reason. I've used like, because recently, if you have Snapchat, they give you like your own AI person right on there.
Okay.
So kind of like your own little chat GPT that you can like message or whatever and
Yeah.
do like the same thing with. And I can't get it to do anything. I am messaging this little like chat GPT thing on my Snapchat. I can't get it to do a thing. But then I get on TikTok and people are like getting it to like write paragraphs on there, and I don't know how they do it. It's impressive.
You have to be, from what I've learned, real specific with it.
Yeah.
You've got to be.
Which seems easy. I was trying
Right.
yet again. That's what I was trying to do. It's hard. It's
You
really
can't
hard.
just say, write a letter to my grandmother. You have to say, write a letter to my grandmother that convinces her that I actually love her and hope she's doing well.
Hudson,
and make it a little bit funny.
It feels like you are using ChatGPT to do your RadioU work.
What do you mean?
Is this how you're replying to emails?
This is
Possibly. Is that why? Have you noticed my emails are sounding a little, a
More
little
polished,
better,
a little smarter.
a little tighter? I just wish I could use ChatGPT to tighten up my talking.
to do the show.
Yeah, this is one thing ChatGPT will never be able to master.
One day.
Not like me. As good as I can do it.
It's funny too, because like in 2 years we're gonna be laughing at ChatGPT because it's gonna be so out. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, remember when we had ChatGPT? How like minuscule that was?" Because 5 years from now, it's gonna be like not even usable because it's gonna be so much more advanced.
Now you can get a good job with it.
That's
right. So
right.
either start practicing, lying, doing whatever it takes to get the great job that you need and you deserve, even if you didn't have all this qualifications, and then see if that helps you.
You can use all the talk points we just listed here in your interview to explain how you know how to use ChatGPT. But 91% of companies that are hiring are looking for somebody that knows how to do it.
They say the
Yeesh.
tech is still so new, but there's a race to bring on employees with the skill in order for the company to stay on the cutting edge, and that's what they want to pay to do.
McDonald's is getting tough. I mean, Walmart, it is getting crazy out there. GPT, it is.
I don't know if it's those companies.
I mean,
but
91%
I
goodness.
mean, it couldn't hurt, right?
You're right.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Inflation is running rampant.
No, I think it's now just the new pricing structure.
You just think inflation, it just is.
It already was rampant. Now it's the new, that's just what
The
the
new
price
normal.
is. Yeah, the new normal.
The new normal. We just got to get used to it. Well, there's still, even with inflation just being kind of settled in, there's still areas where some certain items can have random big jumps in price, right? Like birdseed.
Oh, I did. I saw that.
You
is
saw
that
it?
weird?
Yeah, birdseed has gone way up in price.
Is it because people were so desperate we're eating it? Like, what's the reason?
Wow, what is this, North Korea? That's
I
pretty
don't
dark of a thought. But no, birdseed.
Have you seen how much trail mix is and how pretty spot on birdseed can be?
You know what? That's actually a good point.
There was
What really
there was some M&Ms in there.
What really is the difference between birdseed and mixed nuts? Is it the salt? It's
Yeah,
probably the
probably.
salt. Birdseed, typically, like you're talking, they say it'll go up about normally like 50 cents a year, maybe for like a big bag, like a giant bag of birds, because you can't just buy a small amount of birdseed either. But birdseed has gone up significantly since they are chalking this up to, they think, the war in Ukraine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that's where all the birdseed came from.
But it must.
But they're blaming, see if this sounds familiar, the war in Ukraine, supply chain issues, making birdseed more difficult to get, more difficult to sell, and thus supply and demand getting too expensive.
Goodness.
Driving the prices up.
What are we going to do? How am I going to be able to go on without the birdseed?
I know you say that, but it's weird. Like Eric he used to buy birdseed a lot because he had a bird feeder up. And I was like, why are we wasting our money on this?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't need it. And I also hated birdseed because it brought birds and then they would just poop everywhere.
It does bring the birds,
Yeah.
usually the bird seed.
Oddly
It does
enough.
bring the birds when you put it out.
And I was like, man,
From what I've read.
you like seeing them, but then it was a lot. I was like, I cannot afford to feed the birds. And then they're just, again, messing up everything.
Yeah, you can barely afford to feed like animals that live in your house.
Your own pets?
Yeah, that you actually get love and affection from. Forget about these birds that are only using you for your sunflower seeds.
Yes, and then we always would have squirrels, which was a no-go for my soft-coated Wheaten Terrier, Rolo. That's a bad thing. If a squirrel's in our yard, we have issues.
So what, have you cut off
Yeah, we don't fill the bird seed anymore.
You don't do it anymore?
As of 90% of Americans, I think. I don't know why. I know why, but you don't want to know why birdseed's so expensive? Because no one's buying it. So whenever someone buys a bag, it has to be like $10 so they can make a profit on it.
It became popular during COVID because everyone's like, I want a friend.
Between the ages of 60 and 85.
It's entertainment at
It's
home.
entertainment.
It is interesting to see different birds, but it's also, it feels like an easy thing to cut back on. We can all. But
Well, I said no.
You know who the real loser is? All of this.
The birds.
The
My
birds.
grandparents.
Oh.
What are the birds supposed to do?
They have other stuff.
Where are they going to eat?
They can find other food.
Birds live perfectly fine.
Yeah,
They're a wild animal.
That was extra food for them. That was him just being
Like,
lazy.
you think we're feeding the birds to keep them alive? There's enough bird seed going around.
We were harvesting up all the food that they would be eating, and we're putting it in bags and then putting it in a different spot for them to eat.
Hudson, they weren't like, I just have to get to Nikki's house or I'll die.
I think they were. They always knew I can count on Nikki. She's going to have us covered. And then what happens? What happens when the grocery store around the corner from your house closes and you have to start driving a little further and a little further?
If you're driving anywhere for birdseed, you should be embarrassed.
I'm talking about the birds. The birds.
You should be embarrassed.
Well, does anybody, did you pick that up during COVID because you were desperate for interaction?
Yeah, text in. Somebody text in that's buying birdseed.
And now you're not buying it anymore. It's too much.
It's tough times. So if you're a bird, text in and say how much you wish Nikki still stocked the birdseed.
I will not be guilted into that. That is not going to happen.
There's cardinals dropping dead. It's your fault.
I haven't seen any.
Starvation.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is The Riot. Radio U.
You know how in Florida, a week or two back, they had the accidental emergency alert that went off at like 4:45 a.m. for everybody's phone.
The whole state mad. It was a very early emergency alert, which a lot of people turn off on their phones. But if I remember correctly, it still went off for everybody's, even if you had that feature disabled. And it was so early, and it was just a test of it that people were mad.
Yeah, it woke a lot of people up. Well, they did something similar across the UK. And it caused some issues, at least for one couple, where it was a married couple. They're upstairs painting their son's bedroom when the emergency alert system goes off on everybody's phone. And it was a situation where the wife, she said she was looking at her phone. Her phone had the emergency alert, it muted. So like you still see it, right? If you have it turned off, but you just don't get the loud blaring sound. But her husband was there. I don't know if his phone went off or not, but they hear coming from another room in the bottom floor of the house, the first floor of the house, another emergency alert.
Well, was it the husband's phone then?
There's another phone. Why would you assume that?
Well, I just didn't know.
It was the wife's phone. The wife's
shocker.
Second, she had a burner phone.
As women do. As women do.
Her secret relationship.
Oh, man. She must have been really a relationship then to have a second phone.
She says it was very few and far between that she would talk to this other guy, but it was enough of a relationship that she had to have a second phone for it.
And on the second phone, it wasn't set to have emergency alerts muted, so that's how the phone got found out.
And so they both, as they kind of raced down the stairs, her husband beat her to the phone. And so the jig is up, as they say, in that situation. Game over. Yeah, game over.
I do feel after reading this article that maybe he was suspecting something because it said like he rushed down, whereas the average person like, what's that? You know,
yeah.
Well, if I got woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'd be like, get that thing off as quick as possible.
But you wouldn't automatically think, oh, someone is having an affair, and this is your second phone for that relationship.
Yeah, what a rookie move, though. I mean, if you're gonna cheat, at least be discreet about it. This is rookie stuff. Why is she got a second phone?
I feel like that's like a pretty high level way of doing it, though.
But if somebody catches you with a second phone, there's no other excuse, right?
Well, I think that's why some people say it's a work phone, but that doesn't mean
it's a work phone that you've been keeping secret from me.
You get a second work phone.
But I think that's more secretive than just having it on your normal phone. Like you're for sure more likely to get caught if you just have it on your normal phone.
Man, how do you do all these lies, guys?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking
a lot to manage.
That's right. There's no good way to do it. You have it on your regular phone. You have a second phone. Either way, when you get caught, you get caught. It's all over.
So the emergency alert went off last Sunday, and that was a 10-second alarm. So kind of similar to one you might get here, but that's the one where they do it.
Yeah. Well, this is you don't cheat. Just be honest. Just figure things out.
You wouldn't even have to say that.
Yeah, but if you do cheat, at least go ahead and mute those emergency alerts because that will be the end of you.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
When was the last time you guys talked to your neighbors?
Neighbors?
Uh-huh.
Like next door neighbor or like in the neighborhood?
Just, yeah,
Neighborhood.
Anybody
Neighborhood?
nearby.
Facebook count?
No.
Are you friends with your Facebook Facebook friends? Are you friends with your neighbors on Facebook?
No, but we are a part of the same community group.
So you could be
You
friends.
so would.
Yeah. Well,
You could
would.
be friends with them, but you choose not to be.
No, but it's been a tiny bit.
So you don't really chit chat with the neighbors.
We'll say hi and wave, obviously, but not like hang out.
I don't know if that is obvious, especially though with you, Isaiah. You talk to your neighbors a lot.
I talked to my neighbors a decent amount.
Yeah.
I talked to one of my neighbors yesterday.
Oh.
I've went out with my neighbors before. My neighbor Jeff,
Out on
real
the
cool
town?
guy.
Yeah.
Out on the town with Jeff, yeah, real cool guy.
Never done that.
Never went out to like dinner or anything. Nothing
No.
like that? No. Okay.
Hey, you want to hear my neighbor's situation? On
What?
one side, I have neighbors that are constantly outside that hardly ever talk to me.
Is that the rooster people?
No. Okay. No, technically those are my neighbors, but I don't know who those people are because the house is like in a little alleyway or whatever.
Yeah.
But my next door neighbors on one side, I never talk to them, even though the one guy is constantly outside. I mean, me and the rest of the family will say hi, but he's not very friendly. On the other side is the family that comes and goes that also lives in Tennessee half the time.
Oh, sure.
Actually, 75% of the time at least.
So they're not there often?
Yeah, they're not there often, but I'll interact with them if they're around. Although I can't get into it now, but I had a really weird interaction with them about light up reindeer at Christmas time.
See, I think that's why you shouldn't be like super close friends with your immediate neighbors because if something happens, it's going to be the one to the left or the right of you. And you don't want to have it be too complicated if you're going to start fighting about something.
And then I have a neighbor to the other.
Don't get involved, Russ. Once you guys start fighting, which is inevitable, you're gonna hate each other, and they're gonna live right next to you.
Well, it's going to make it really awkward.
But if you hate the person down the street, that's no big deal.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's right. That's keep a healthy distance. The other neighbors, though, are funny because the guy is like, asked me if I'm doing work on my car or whatever. He'll come over and he'll be like, hey, you need any help? I've got the scanner and stuff. He's real nice. But then if I come, like sometimes mail gets delivered to my place.
Yeah.
And if I come to his door with the mail, he's like, who are you?
He's mad or?
No, he just doesn't recognize me then, but he's come and talked to me before, so real odd. Anyways, what do you think is the most annoying? I've got a survey here, but I want to know, what do you think is the most annoying thing that neighbors commonly do?
Things that you're not supposed to do in your neighborhood. So, like, if it's a rule and they do it, then you have to be, like the one guy, like next to me, he has a boat. He constantly drives his boat to his backyard, and he just drives like through the side of the houses.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you
between your two houses?
Yeah, it'll go
on
through
your grass?
He doesn't never cross over, but it's right there because I have a fence.
She's
so.
like, it's that close.
It's that close.
Wait, so he drives his boat into his backyard
Yeah.
on his side of the fence. Why does that bother you?
It's just weird. It is weird.
Wild.
There's boats in the back. It's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to have a boat like that.
Why
Nikki's
not?
calling the police.
That's a rule. You're not supposed to.
Why is that a rule?
This
Okay, we're not talking about that now.
is
You just
Karen
asked.
Nikki. This is Karen Nikki.
No,
Anybody
it's
who's
not.
wondering.
I don't say anything about it. I just stay in my house and
You
be
just said
annoyed.
something
She said she
about
hates it.
I won't say anything to him. I'll keep it to myself.
I'm looking on the list, and driving your boat in your own yard to the backyard, not on the list.
It's not?
No, I think
it
you're the
should
only one
be.
who said that.
Well, but she didn't get to vote, so.
Yeah, the top thing on the list was inappropriate parking. Does that? I guess the boat in the
does
backyard
count.
counts.
It
doesn't
I
it?
guess that is.
It
Because he'll-
technically falls under the
Inappropriate
definition.
parking is messed up.
Because
I
he'll
can
park
agree.
his boat on the side of the house for like a good so many months.
A real eyesore for the neighborhood.
Yeah, that is tough. Also, my complaint, having a loud rooster, not on the list as well, but loud music did come in at number 2.
Really? I
People
used to
don't-
like apartments. I could see that.
Yeah, people don't like if you get out there and just start blasting music. So keep it to a reasonable level. I just feel like we just learned so much about Nikki.
Whatever. I am a great neighbor. I don't say anything. It doesn't mean I'm not annoyed by it.
hates
But I never,
internally.
That
I
actually
never
is a great
complain.
neighbor.
I won't do anything about it. I'll just stay in my house looking at your boat
You
and
don't
being
even post
annoyed by it.
in the group Facebook about
I do
it?
not. Absolutely not.
Jeez, that is the best neighbor. You can do whatever you want, and Nikki will just let
So
you go.
I'm
That's
not,
the
a,
best.
I'm not a Karen.
She's
I'm
a
not
silent
Karen.
Karen. She hates you internally, but to your face, she's going to be so nice
I
to you.
will. That's exactly how I am.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U. It's time for a Riot food fight.
It's food fight time on The Riot. Today, what we have is the latest offering from Reese's, where they put out not one, but two new Reese's cups. These ones kind of going back to basics for Reese's. They've got a creamy version and a crunchy version of their peanut butter that they've swapped in for whatever kind of in between you would call their normal peanut butter, right? Because it's an in between. It's definitely not creamy, but it's not crunchy either.
Sure.
So it's an in between. So they go to the extremes with this one, and we're going to find out which one is better. Now, typically, what do you guys prefer outside of a Reese's?
I like texture, so I think crunchy stuff is better.
I do crunchy as well.
But it seems like with voting, because you can vote for which of the two you like, creamy, like the website makes it seem like creamy is 100% everybody.
There has never been
a landslide.
Because they show by state too, all 50 states.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, well, some of the states are 50-50. It's all like 65 to 35 in favor of creamy. But we'll see if that holds true with us.
Now, Reese says, I think it would have been better marketing to have a packet for sale where one peanut butter cup was creamy and one was crunchy.
I know,
That would make way more sense.
How did they not do that?
But they didn't. Instead, you have to buy a packet of two creamy and two crunchy. I know why, because they want more money. But I think marketing-wise, it would have been cool if it had each of them in there.
Like a real showdown.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
which one do you want to try first?
The creamy looks easier to grab.
You want to do creamy?
All right, let's do creamy.
I mean, how far off can this be from a normal peanut butter cup? Oh, it is creamy, though. That is smooth.
It's good.
You like it?
I mean, it's a Reese's.
I
That's
know.
like a straight up. I mean, that's just a Reese's.
I don't know how hard this can be.
Is that different from normal?
It is creamier. Like, it's more like a whipped, smoother one.
I think if I looked at that, which because it was cut in half, I could see that it was creamy inside. I don't think if I just tasted that blindly, I'd go, well, this isn't quite the regular Reese's, is it?
You could tell.
I don't think I'd be able to.
No, there's no way you'd be able to tell.
Yeah.
0% chance.
Let's see
But it
what
was
the
good,
crunchy.
though.
The crunchy has some peanuts in it. So, would you prefer a creamy Reese's peanut butter cup or a crunchy one?
There's definitely some crunch in there.
So I like crunchy peanut butter. So I think
too.
I like this more too, even though I'm not what the map says.
Way better.
I just like having crunch.
10x. It really
Winner.
is. It's way better.
I think
it's
I'm
so
with
much
you
better.
guys. I think the crunchy is actually better.
Yeah?
I think it's way better.
You're
I don't understand
agree?
this map. Yeah.
I don't understand either. Why
I've
do
always
they-
liked the crunchy peanut butter better than creamy, but I feel like creamy is so much more prevalent. That's just what everybody kind of like falls back on. Crunchy is so much better once you try it.
Maybe us crunchy people would never go and vote for the Reese's competition.
What, are you too cool for that?
So it's almost like it's just the creamy people. They're willing to go
Do
vote.
creamy
are.
people have a complex?
Maybe.
They do.
Even though
They won't even try the crunchy.
They are
it's
in the
so
vast
good though.
majority. You're right. A lot of creamy people won't try the crunchy. I've had both. I think creamy is better in many applications, but in this application, crunchy is definitely.
Crunchy gets our vote?
If we're voting on this, if we're giving it a U rating, that's 5 out of 5.
Now, Reese's, I'd also like to point out, because we've been sitting here with these cut open for a while, the smell is just so amazing. Why isn't there a perfume or a cologne? I mean, obviously, you'd smell like you eat a lot of the chocolate peanut butter stuff, but it might be worth it.
There's like a lip balm.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
That works, but it doesn't quite match, though. It's so artificial. It's not the same.
No, just rub the peanut butter on your lips.
Yeah,
It'll-
actually, that's probably the best
it'll moisturize.
idea.
So our vote is crunchy, the creamy or crunchy Reese's peanut butter cups.
Unanimous show agreement.
Yeah, we decided
Way better.
on the same.
Not even close.
And this was like my favorite food fight we've done in a while. It was so good.
Are you eating all of it?
I ate all of it. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
We have a half of a cup left on each one if you guys want it.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.